lot to say about this. Where do we even begin with this?
So let's introduce the story here. Beavis and Butthead is coming back. Now, before you automatically cringe, it will be on Comedy Central, not what is the burning refuse pile that is MTV.
Is that still a thing? Is there still MTV?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
There's still...
I'm not sure what they have on it. Probably mostly like reality TV.
We don't have TV, so I don't know if there's MTV.
We don't know.
I thought it ended like years ago.
And Mike Judge is on board to write, produce, and voice this series. So, could it be good?
No.
And it is said to appeal to both Gen X and their Gen Z kids.
I don't know what they're gonna.
Nice?
I don't know what they're gonna do with this. They already tried to bring back Beavis and Butthead a few years ago, and I personally did not like it. It didn't even last. So obviously it wasn't good.
I didn't watch it.
It was terrible. Because here's why it was terrible. They took Beavis and Butthead, they ripped them out of the 1990s and put them in today's world, but without even like talking about it's today's world. They were just here, and it was just like
they're timeless.
Yeah, it was timeless and everything. Like there was new stuff going around them, but they weren't like dumbfounded by it. They were just like, yeah, they just always existed in this world. And like,
was Mike Judge involved in that?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, well then forget it. This is gonna be awful.
Yeah. So it was like pointless. It was just like, why did they bother doing this? There needs to be some sort of recognition of the times. By the way, it's gonna be on Comedy Central now. So usually back in the day when Beavis and Butthead were not on MTV, they could not wear the Metallica and AC/DC shirts. They had to put like Skull and Death on their shirts. They would usually do. So being that there's not MTV, I don't know if they're going to be able to have, because it's not going to be MTV's Beavis and Butthead anymore. Comedy Central Beavis and Butthead. So I don't know if they might have to change their look. So now, like I said, they want to appeal to both Gen X. Okay, first of all, this like stuff doesn't really appeal to Gen Xers anymore because we've grown up. So like we don't really think it's like even when I watch Beavis and Butthead, like the old one, like I don't really find it that funny anymore. I'm just like okay, like why?
Like it's the humor for
it's for 16-year-olds in the 90s. It's not really gonna work with most, unless there are some mouth breathing Gen Xers. They're probably like, but like a lot of guys are probably like, nah.
Well, it's for the people who are gonna like the new Bill and Ted.
We'll talk about it in a second.
We'll get into that.
We'll talk about that in a second. And Comedy Central is also a spinoff of Daria, which is a spinoff of Beavis and Butthead called Jody. I don't know who Jody was in Daria. And
it's this whole big push that Comedy Central's doing to get Gen X and Z in on the cartoon.
I'm a Gen Xer, and I hate Gen Zers. Okay, I don't hate millennials. They're fine.
You don't know any Gen Zers.
Yes, but I see them on wherever. I see them from a distance. I'm like, these people.
Why do you see them?
You hear about them having coronavirus parties to see who can get.
Well, older people are doing that too.
No. They're purposely doing it.
Older people are doing that too.
Older are purposely betting.
I hear about older people bringing their children.
Or they're just doing it out of ignorance.
Well, yeah, they're all ignorant, obviously.
No, but these Gen Zers are doing it on purpose. Like, they're like, no, I get it first.
No, they're doing it on purpose.
And they get the money?
To get the money?
Yeah, no. These kids, it was some frat boys in Alabama. And they were seeing who can get the coronavirus first.
Okay.
And then you get the money.
That's just kids being dumb. That's not
Gen Zers.
That's not their generation. Any generation of kids would have done that.
They ate Tide Pods. They did it. It's them.
You would have eaten a Tide Pod.
I would not. I assure you, when I was 17, I would not have eaten a Tide Pod. I'm like, that is not to be eaten. It's for detergent. It's not food.
All right, so we think this is going to be pretty bad.
Okay, but
here's the thing I think is that, Beavis and Butthead, just the format of like people basically like commenting on something. It's kind of like live tweeting. It's like a reaction video kind of,
Yeah.
And that's like a major form of entertainment, but it's genuine now. So this is like a parody of that, which then went on to become a legitimate form of entertainment for a lot of people like on YouTube of just like making reaction videos and stuff like that, but where they just make fun of shit.
Butthead did that before there was an internet.
That's what I'm saying is that
with videos.
They're the progenitor. But the thing is like they bring this back and Gen Z is going to look at it and they're like, oh, this is just like a fake reaction video like of these two characters that I can't relate to. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to critique. They have to have them critiquing some. Last time they had them critiquing the last attempt, I believe it was reality TV, which is not music videos. It doesn't work.
So yeah, that's the question. What are they going to talk about?
Yeah, because they have to have the show, the story, but you have to have excerpt. You have to have these parts where they're sitting on their couch and they're critiquing. Although that's the power of Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead ruined and elevated. They ruined certain bands like Winger and Warrant. You fuckers, that band that sucks. Okay, they ruined bands like that, and you know people from those bands like hate. They're like, Beavis and Butthead ruined my life. These cartoon characters and other bands like White Zombie and like stuff like that, and you know, got elevated, literally elevated by Beavis and Butthead. You know, they were literally put onto like this higher level because of these two kids, these two fictional kids. There's not going to be any power to do that anymore. There's not going to be any need to do that anymore. So what are they going to do? Like, what are they going to? I assume they're going to look at internet YouTube videos. Like, I assume that's what else can you do?
I don't know.
They can't, if they're being
they have to look at popular culture, otherwise,
Yeah.
like, it can't be on Comedy Central.
Being that it's on Comedy Central, they can't do music videos. There's no way they're going to be able to do music videos. It's not going to happen. There's too many copyright things. It's never going to happen. But my main problem with this, like, there's no way Beavis and Butthead will work this new version of it. And it's for the 90s. Like, their whole personality only worked in the 90s, and kids today will not get it. Unless they're gonna be woke or something, which is not going to happen.
What if they're adults?
Okay, so here's the only way for me it's gonna work. They used to, like, in the old Beavis and Butthead cartoons, they would sometimes, Mike Judge would have this like future prediction of what Beavis and Butthead would look like when they were old, when they were like in their 40s, and it was funny because like Butthead was this like fat guy, and Beavis was this skinny like looking meth head guy. And if they had Beavis and Butthead, here's my idea for the show. They start with them two as those portrayed old men, the exact same guys as that Mike Judge portrayed, and they're remembering back the 90s, and it's just them remembering back to the 1990s.
Oh, and they do videos that they didn't do.
Yeah, that would work. Okay, with the Gen Xers,
pure
maybe.
Nostalgia.
Yeah, or this is a dumber idea.
But the Gen Z won't like that.
Yeah, I don't know if Gen Z will like it, but to me, like, that's the only way it's gonna work.
And that sounds almost good.
Yeah. Right? That'll like, you know, I'd give it a chance.
Or maybe if they were older and they just watched the old videos and then they do it again.
And they were like just acting like boomers about it. Yeah, that's another idea. That's idea B. Okay, and idea C is they're old and then they find these Gen Z kids and they explain, these Gen Z kids are like, oh, you guys are boomers. You know, and they're like, you guys are, but these like Gen Z kids are all like young Beavis and Butthead. You know, they're like these like kind of rejects, you know, and you know, they're kind of like incels, I guess. Incels. Right? They'd be like, because they couldn't be like cool kids, right? They have to be like Beavis and Butthead. And Beavis and Butthead kind of mentor them, like these two old men. They're like, just like how Beavis and Butthead met their old selves in like the Beavis and Butthead movie, I think. Like they met these old versions of themselves, and then they did acid, and they did like shrooms with them or something. Will it be like similar kind of a thing where like Beavis and Butthead are mentoring these kids? That would work too. But we need to have Beavis and Butthead need to have aged. Okay. We need to, in order for Gen X to recognize them, they need to be our age now. We need to have 40-year-old.
Yeah, they need to make new young characters if they want.
Yeah.
Gen Z to be into them.
Yeah, they could make like these young kids pass down the torch, right? That's fine. I'm okay with that. Passing down the torch. Okay. Yeah, that's you know, like Gen X needs to be included in the demographic of this. You know. Like,
I think it should just be Gen X.
Yeah, I don't know if Gen Z. Well, they should try it with the Gen Zers, but I don't know if it's like, I don't know, like, how was it?
Do something else if you want to make a show for Gen Z.
Yeah, just do something else.
Don't co-opt this old property.
How about just making something else for a change?
Make something else.
How about that? How about just not remaking something for once? There's something that doesn't need to be remade.
Do a little extra Coke, come up with an idea. You know, like,
yeah, that's too difficult. But yeah, that's like the only way. That's the only thing I want to see. But overall, will the Gen Xers even dig it? Like I'll give it a chance. But like, even if they're doing the same kind of humor they did, like, what if I don't even like it? You know, like I said, like I don't get this anymore.
Well, we don't have to like it.
I'm not 16. I'm not a kid.
Another
anymore.
property coming back.
Okay, so like.